Hey, welcome back to the KB Money Show. It's your boy KB, and I have my co-host, the Ivy League scholar, the amazing Keon Barney. Episode 10. Let's get it. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing great, man. Blessed to be here another week. Happy to be here to make it to double digits. So I'm happy to have the fans here with us. So I'm just happy.
Okay, awesome. So we said we gonna keep everybody update with our progress, how things are going. This is a part of accountability. So this past week, what went well for you? And then we're gonna get over to how you tracking with your emergency fund. We're gonna talk about that too.
So I guess I actually got a story. I got something that can tie pretty well to both of those. So what went well for me? Well, I won't say it went well. Actually, I ended up having some car issues. So I won't say that went well, but like there was a point in time before where when I had car issues, not too long ago, if I had car issues, it would have been like, man, we gotta stop the world. Like we gotta figure out something. Like this is groundbreaking. I don't know what I'm gonna do. But fortunately I've been blessed to been able to improve my situation and just can continue growing. And now I'm in a place where, fortunately, I got in the car. It still was that initial fear, like, man, my baby, what's going on? Like, what's these noises I'm hearing? But I was able to calm down and say, okay, what's the nearest mechanic? I called my boss and all that. I was like, hey, man, because I was going into work and I was mad too. I had on a nice outfit. We had a holiday party that day. I was planning to go in like I wasn't gonna stun, but I was like, man, I'm excited. And so I heard them noises, and I was like, man, I just hope my baby's okay, man. And so went in, and because I got a Toyota, if you take care of those things, they'll last a really long time. And so that's what I'm planning to do. So long story short, to tie back to what we're talking about, I was able to take it in, get the issue fixed, and I joked with my boss and I said they let me keep my arm and my leg. It wasn't too much, they didn't hit me over the head, but I was just blessed to be able to just in a blink of an eye be able to say, hey, the money that I was actually about to take and put into my emergency fund this week. So that's what I'm trying to send. The money I was going to put into my emergency fund this week, a bit of it went into that, but I'm still planning on contributing to my emergency fund this week. I always want to make a habit of contributing, at least even if it's 50, 100, something. So
Yeah.
I'm still gonna put something into it this week. I'm gonna contribute $100 today.
Okay. 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 So what happened with the whip? What?
Man, so I'm not sure. So this happened Thursday, and I'm not sure. On Wednesday, everything was fine on Wednesday. I actually went and washed the car on Wednesday and all that. I was feeling myself. Thought I was gonna go in Thursday shine. And
Yeah.
so, man, I just get in the car, crank it up. The crank's normal, and then I start to move, and I hear something. I'm like, what is that? I had to turn the radio down. I'm like, I can't ignore this noise. This is one of them type of noise. What is that? And so I'm like, God, what's going on? And so I'm driving slow. I'm hearing it. I pull over. And long story short, there was something wrong with the wheel. Now I'm no mechanic by any means. Our pop is, but I thought I thought my wheel was gonna fall apart. I almost panicked because I don't know what I'm looking at. So I'm looking. I'm like, oh Lord, I could have. We live next to a river. I could have just drove into the river. My wheel could have fell off. I'm like, dang, I can't make it into work. Am I gonna have to tow this into the mechanic? But man, I looked up some really well-reviewed shops, and the first shop I called, they're like, "Hey, man, we're too busy. We can't take you." But he ended up giving me advice on the phone. I know doctors make home calls and phone telehealth. I never heard a
Yeah.
telemechanic. Like he was like, "Man,
Okay.
what you say is wrong? Get out. What's wrong with it?" He gave me some advice and was like, "Yeah, man, if you can't do this, and that, you should still be able to drive it to a shop." So I drove it to a shop and they fixed it. And fortunately, my baby's okay. My Toyota's still pounding. I say, hey, why y'all gotta lift it up, change the oil, do what y'all need to do so it can keep cruising. And the other than that, that's what happened. And then, of course, they give you an extra diagnosis while you're there for free. By the way, this is also broken. I know you came in
Hey.
for the this,
Yeah.
but for free, we're gonna tell you what else is. Because I learned I learned what a tie rod is.
Yeah.
Let me not lie. I learned that a tie rod exists. I don't even know what it is yet. I still gotta look it up and figure that out. But I know that it's frozen. Let me rephrase that. I know that they say it's frozen, and I need to do some more investigation. I need to get a second opinion to see if it's really frozen before I let them fix that. But other than that,
Okay.
they fixed the main cause. So I said, hey, is the main thing fixed? Can I have my car back? When you had that moment of, hey, can I have my car back? Like, okay, I'm gonna come back and get this other work done later. Like, can I kind of drive away now? Can I pay y'all and go away? And they said, yep, you can drive away. And I was happy, man.
So when you started to move, like what did they say was wrong?
So actually part of my fender, which is why I'm saying I'm not sure what happened. Part of my fender was starting to come into the wheel well, and part of the fender liner itself was starting to strike the wheel. And so
Ah,
when you don't know, when you don't know that, you hear that drive, and you're like, oh my God, this car about to blow up. What's going on? I need to get out. So you just you hear all these noises. And so I pull over and I'm literally spinning around my car, like, okay, this wheel looks normal, that wheel looks normal. This definitely does not look like the other three. So I'm like, yeah,
right.
this is. And I communicated with my manager. And my manager's pretty chill. I didn't have to take pictures and all that, but I was like, yeah, man, I can't come in. Like I really wanted to, but yeah, unfortunately, everything's good and everything's fixed.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Now that's good to hear, man, that you're good. Okay. All right. That's funny. So what I hear is a slight inconvenience because you had an emergency fund and you really didn't even have to tap into your current emergency fund. You just cash floated the issue. Yeah. So usually that's what we do as well. When things come up, sure, we have an emergency fund, but we usually a cash flow it and just leave that money over there sitting and then just keep it moving. But usually what ends up happening when you have the emergency fund, you're usually in a good place income wise. You're able to do those things. Usually when things aren't going in your favor is when you hadn't prepared and you hadn't planned. You don't have nothing on the side, which means you're probably not making the
Yeah.
right decisions in with your career and your income and the other areas. And so what could have been an inconvenience, you over here making life decisions now, like
Yeah.
which credit card am I gonna put it on? This one already done. This one is over. Who
Yeah.
can I call? Can I go get a personal loan now? Well, maybe my credit jacked up now, so maybe I can't. So it just gets
Yeah.
weird. Like you just stressed out, and
Yeah.
and it's a better way for me. This past week, man, it was a blur, man. So I have vacation coming up for 2 weeks, and so it was just grind mode. And you know how it is whenever some people when they're getting ready to go on vacation, or like if you're getting ready to go on vacation, you dotting I's, crossing T's that way, and getting ready to hand things off, and so it was heads down, get it done, take care of things, and so that was top of mind for me, and that's really been my week. But the one thing that I am proud of is I'm starting to change up my routine in preparation for the upcoming year because I can see some cracks. And with the assessment that I'm taking with my coaching and everything in preparation, I'm changing how I wake up in the morning. When I wake up, I pray, I meditate. Then when I'm in the car, I'm listening to something positive. And so I like how that feel, so like starting your day with good energy, good vibes. I think you mentioned like positivity last week. So spiritual and with the positivity, like you unstoppable, right? Then more sleep.
I like that one.
More sleep. So what made me think, so I took a high performance course, and one of the things they was talking about was it's not about doing more. You have to make sure you recharge because just because you're spending more time on the thing that it does get to a point where it's diminishing return just because you added more time to it and like you're just doing the thing like and you're just thinking well I need to just put more time. Well, actually, you might need to get more rest so you can think more clearly and be more productive with the time you have. Now, don't get it twisted. Sometimes you do need to just grind it out, but at the same time, how sustainable is it for you not to get sleep for long periods of time? You're gonna run on E and you're gonna burn yourself out, and then you're gonna create some other issues that if you would have just found if you would have been intentional with what you prioritize and just focused on what was important, you could have avoided it. What am I talking about? A lot of times there's things we need to say no to. A lot of times we're looking to do all the things. I was talking to somebody and they are a professional, very busy, very taxing, very demanding. They got family and they doing fantasy football as well. But they're not even excited about fantasy football the way that they was, but it's still time consuming. So I get it. You've been doing this for over 10 years. but it might be time to let that go so you can recapture that mental bandwidth to allocate to the things that you already have on your plate. Might it might be that might give you more headspace to allocate to the fam, more headspace to allocate to the job, to your finances, whatever your health, whatever that may be. Things that you take on, a lot of times we don't realize it's taking your mental bandwidth to be a part of that thing, which is taken away from something else. You can't do it all. And so, that's what so that's I don't know where I was going with that, but I'll let you chime in there just and then I get an update on the finance piece.
Nah, man, I think that makes a lot of sense what you were saying, especially like it makes me think about one of the episodes on the pod. ET and them were saying him specifically. He said something along the lines of like, don't fall in love with a specific routine. You know,
Mm,
when especially when you're chasing results, you're not chasing routine. You know,
mm,
you're not in that pattern of doing things just for the sake of doing it. You're really looking to continue to grow better. And to your point, at some point, I mean, Steph Curry eventually has to leave the gym at two. He has to leave too.
yeah.
And then it makes me think. Continue with that analogy. I don't know if you've seen this video. I don't know if it's true, but Andre Iguodala talks about how Kevin Durant. He's like, man, he only works out for 30 minutes, but it's the most beautiful 30 minutes you've ever seen in your life. He can hit 1,000 jumpers from 20 different spots in 30 minutes, and now he's packing up and got his bag and leaving. And so, and you know what he's done. He's the one scoring titles and all that. So no one's questioning his efficiency. And so, and you brought up like sleep routines. I think that's something that's very undervalued, devalued. Something I have devalued myself in the past. I've especially like when I was young, high school and all that. Like, oh, I'm gonna stay up late playing the game and all that. And part of that is just wanting to retake some of your own time because you feel like all your own personal day is being taken by work and school. But like you said, it's not sustainable in the long run. And so it's just about figuring out what works for your body and listening to your body because your body will give you clues. It'll give you hints. Like me, I used to consider, oh, I'm not a morning person. I hate the mornings, blah, blah, blah. I'd rather stay up late. I can stay up late and do work. Not with a job, you know. That was cool until I had to go get up and drive to a job. And
Yeah.
so now naturally I've just been I don't know why. And I don't know if it's because I've been traveling internationally and I've been throwing off my body clock. I don't know that all that's thrown in too, but I just naturally wake up at like 5 in the morning. Like I'm just getting up. Like I'm not trying to. I don't really I'll set a last minute alarm just in case. Like man, if I oversleep, I don't want to have to call my boss and say, hey, I overslept. That's not a call I want to make. But I usually don't set an alarm. I'm just up. And so for me now, instead of obsessing over what time am I going to wake up, now it's kind of like what you're getting at. I kind of make the best use of this time because it doesn't matter if I'm waking up at 5 a.m. If I'm just scrolling TikTok, scrolling
Yeah.
Twitter, scrolling this app, scrolling that app. Your routine doesn't matter. What are the results that you're getting from your routine?
Yeah, yeah. So I've been getting more sleep. Wifey, she like, hey, like, watch this Christmas movie and this and that. Like like I have my laptop multitasking, being with her, whatever, but I'm like multitasking, knocking out other work, doing whatever I need to do. But once I look up and I'm like, it's about 9:20, 9:30, I'm like, hey, I gotta go. Like I'm about to get into bed. And
Yeah.
because my alarm goes off at about 4:30. And so
Mm,
I just make sure I just get enough sleep because yeah, I'm in the bed. I'm looking to get into bed at 9:30, but at the same time, I know it's gonna take some wind down time. And one of the things I used to also do was I would put headphones on, like earplugs in. I have some earbuds that I keep by my nightstand, and I'll be listening to stuff as I'm going to bed. But then sometimes it would keep me up because it's interesting. And so now, like once I get into bed,
yep.
like the phone is on the charger, like I don't have nothing in my ear. I'm just gonna fall asleep and get good rest, and then I'll start fresh, do it all over again. Whatever that podcast, whatever that thing was, I was gonna learn, look into, study. I'll do that tomorrow, or
Yeah.
plan it for another time. Just prioritizing my sleep. So yeah, our sleep is important, and I can already tell, but with the spiritual side and then getting to sleep, just those two changes there, I feel more productive at work. I
Mm,
feel more productive and present date nights. I feel more productive just in other areas. So I can definitely tell that I can see how the benefits of that will is gonna be impactful in multiple areas in my life for sure. Finance piece. Finance piece. Uh we pay. paid it down by 5 grand. So we were at 65. Now we were at 65. Now we're at like 61.5 left on the mortgage. So still trucking away, there. The target is December 2025. So keep you posted on that front. Hey, hey, keep it simple. Whatever your goal is, don't be looking around. Like, hey, set your goal, work on your goal, focus on your goal. It's the basics that help you get progress, whether that's you have a savings goal, whether you have a debt payoff goal, whether you have an investment goal. Run your race. A lot of this stuff out here is not what you think it is anyway. So be okay with the fundamentals, be okay with the basic, master the basics, love the boring, because that's how you get the progress. And I think that's a good segue with what we have in store. And as we go through and talk about many different topics, it's going to ring true of things aren't what they seem. Let's get into it. So the first thing we're going to talk about is, I'm going to do a screen share real quick and then I'll unshare it. Is the Nike CEO.
Uh-oh, what happened? I'm not tuned in. I didn't see this.
Let me do a quick screen share here.
It's a true live reaction. Shoot, I'm kind of excited to see what happens.
Let's see, I'm trying to.
Tell off, not Phil Knight. What was his name? Not Phil Knight. He ain't the CEO. He was the founder, I guess. Whatever his
Yeah.
name.
Do you see my
I don't
screen
know.
yet?
No, I can't see it yet.
Okay.
I'm not sure
There
who
we
the
go.
CEO is.
A second. Let me undo that. Let me share my screen. Okay, there we go. All right. Can you see my screen yet?
Not yet. It's like it's loading. I think it might be loading.
Boom. There we
There
go.
it is. Yeah, it's on there.
All right. So the Nike CEO blames remote work for innovation slowdown, saying it's hard to build disruptive products on Zoom. Uh-oh, you make excuses. But I wanted to share this real quick to give you the backstory to what I wanted to cover. And so the new CEO for Nike is
John.
Donahue, and he blamed remote work for the company's innovation slowdown and dearth of fresh products. Donahue said that the Nike employees worked from home for 2.5 years, and it's really hard to do bold, disruptive innovation to develop a boldly disruptive shoe on Zoom. That sounds funny when you say it like that, right? Like, I wonder who helped him craft that. The company is in a bit of a rough spot and has been criticized for falling behind on innovation and ceding market share to upstarts like On Running. I had those shoes on earlier today. And Hoka, which I got those on now. I got some recovery slides on. So yeah, they getting that butt, they getting that butt whooped. So let me stop sharing. So stop sharing, bring it back to us. Because what I really want to talk about, which I'm not going to share the screen on that, is he doing a whole bunch of blaming.
Mm.
So just recently, an article came out a day ago. So I just gave you the context on Nike on the sentiments of the current CEO. So basically, a day ago, an article came out, and I'm gonna just get a high points. So Nike's new CEO blames promotions for declining profits.
Mm.
Says turnaround efforts may hurt as a company move to clear excess inventory. We lost our obsession with sports. That's what the Nike CEO is talking about. But I got an opinion on this. I have an opinion on this, and no, I don't. I don't know. I'm not some stock guru or whatever. I know for me, I'll talk about me. One, it just sound like a whole bunch of excuses. But for me, I got pissed with Nike because they were doing the whole woke thing and all that. I didn't like all that. But then that's fine, dude. That's your company. Do what you want to do. But then what would piss me off is I love Jordans, right? But the games that they were playing when they were releasing the Jordans, like you just get
Yeah.
like making it hard to get. I get it. Like you have to create scarcity
Right.
to make people want to go get it. And so people that are it's like, so you not putting out enough products on purpose and all this. And so like you try to like I don't have time to be like looking at my phone all the time. Like as soon as it release, you gotta hurry up and hit the button and like
Yep.
y'all playing these games where y'all can just release more. And I just got fed up. I'm like, you know what? I would just go buy another shoe. I'm tired of y'all.
Yeah.
Like y'all getting on my nerve. And as a matter of fact, all the ones that I got, I'm kind of at that place where, hey, if somebody opened to buying a size 11, I will sell all of them to you. And I ain't looking to get rich on this. I would just get rid of them because I just don't like what they're doing. And also, they're not even being innovative either. They're not being innovative at all. They just keep remixing, the same thing, and it just stale and old anyway. Like you've ridden the Jordan train so long, which we all like the shoes, is cool, but you do what else are you gonna do? Do something else. And so that's where I'm at with it. And what I've noticed, I don't know if you have any apps downloaded now. You see what they're trying to do, and like me, I'm not some guru or anything, but you have to listen to your intuition sometimes. And now they're making the shoes there's be more accessible. Why? Because you're struggling. Oh, so now it took you to struggle in
Yep.
order to now you restocking more and now you're having more drops and all of that. I'm like, nah, screw you. Like, nah, I'm cool. Like I'm not buying your shoes right now. I'm gonna find something else. I'm good.
For sure. Man. I Man, you bring up a good point. I think Nike's a good example of like short-sightedness, being like myopic as a business. Or like I want to say speak to the whole business, but specifically with the sneakers and with Jordans. Like I think you're right. Like I kind of I grew up a sneakerhead. I couldn't afford them, but I still liked them. I was online like, oh, dude, these the fives, the grapes, the this, the that. I want them, and so like I didn't have the money, but I definitely had the appetite for it. And so I can't imagine the frustration of growing up, or even if in the moment you got the appetite, you got the money, but I still can't get the shoe. That's just foolishness. And so I went to school and concentrated in marketing, so I fully appreciate marketing and marketing efforts and creating demand. But there's like I think it's like a line between like genuine, like good natured marketing tactics, and now we're just being manipulative. Now we're playing they're playing a dirty game, and like they set up a bad system. And what they did was they set up a system that allowed this third party to come in and wreck it and broke the system. You know who that is? Is these bots and these people that come in because the normal human being doesn't have time to camp out at 11:59 p.m. for some. We talking about tennis shoes, like, and it's one thing when you're 12 years old and it's a video game, or if it's Black Friday. We as a country, we used to do things like that. We used to flock towards retail, especially before Amazon. But it's been interesting seeing the decline because like you said, they really haven't been innovative. There haven't been more shoes. It's only been more colorways of the same 12 to 15 shoes. You can only make so many colors.
Yeah,
At some point, we're gonna be wearing pink 11s, so green, lime green,
yeah,
burgundy green, army green. It's like how many different colors? Like you can't keep selling us the same product, and then that's the problem. Instead of innovation, and this is where, like you said, it's excuses because this is happening way before COVID, way before Zoom was a thing. They was releasing all these. They had all these different colorways of the same shoes dropping. Oh, we'll change one little feature. We'll put patent leather here. Like stop messing with us. Y'all make them in some factory somewhere. We're using $10, $15 leather, and y'all are making it seem like it's this hard to get product. It reminds me of Bubbles. You ever heard of Bubbles? I think that Bubbles popping, and now they're
mm,
trying to panic, and it makes me think of the CEO. In school they talked about how CEOs are humans too. They have their own intentions. And so, does he really believe that what he said? Maybe, maybe not. But maybe he needs to just buy more time. Maybe I'm just buying time. Maybe I just need to shift attention off of me. Hey, don't look at me. Hey, it's the remote workers. Y'all didn't hear what Elon said? Hey, yeah, remote workers. And then oh, it's not the remote workers. Well, it's these promotions. See, everybody getting promoted, but nothing. Our product's not getting promoted. So, how many times can I, as a CEO, shift blame until y'all finally say no, 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 stop shifting blame, answer the question, or give the seat to somebody else. And so
yeah,
we're
yeah,
gonna see.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's real. And I don't want to totally downplay it. I do understand the remote part a little bit. I find myself in the middle. Yes, I'm 100% remote, and so I'm talking in a place of privilege. But if things needed to change, I don't care. I'll go in the office. Like I've done both. I've done that in the past. So if it's hybrid, I don't care. I'm not messing up my bag. I don't care. I will just adjust things if I need to get up early, like crazy early, 3:30 to still get my routine in, be productive and get to work. Whatever I've done in the past, I'll do it now. Don't matter to me. I don't operate with a mindset of entitlement. I understand that the company is the company, they want what they want. And it just is what it is. So I do understand that there's a balance there. Basically, what happens is you just have these extremes, a- and it's this remote war. And it's to your point, it sounds like he's trying to put it off on that because I do understand that there's a productivity aspect of collaboration in office and you whiteboarding or you in office meeting. But for me, I'll be real. Sometimes, like I remember being in the office day in and day out. Sometimes people are just keep stopping by your desk when you're trying to be productive, and you like
Yeah.
you get there. Like what I used to do intentionally was I would come early so I could be productive. I
Mm,
would come in the office when no one was in there so I can actually get something done because when people started coming in, okay, let's say it's like 8, 8:30, then people spend about 30 minutes getting coffee and hanging out, talking, and then you start to slowly start to get into your work, 9, 9:15, then people coming by your desk, talking, chit-chatting, random pop-ups. And before you know it, 11 o'clock is here, it's lunchtime. And you're
yeah.
like, hey, yo, it's like 12:30, and I hadn't really gotten the traction of really wanting to get things done the way I want to. And so yeah, so it's just interesting just seeing the two dynamics. But then you have the opposite end where you have employees feeling crazy entitled that they should be at home working, and because the company is saying get your butt back in this office, you trying to protest. Like
Right.
like if the person that creates the job create the rules, you
Mm,
know, I don't think it needs to be a dictatorship, but it's really not like what do you think? Is like, no, this is what we're doing. Like this isn't a democracy, so to speak, with the companies. And don't be a victim. If you don't like what they're doing, don't complain. You could be upset. We all have emotions. You could be pissed off because maybe you like your job and you set your life. But basically, it can't be because I got these personal things going on now, and the way I structured my life, I don't want to go back in the office because that's really what it is. They don't,
mm,
and if the company's saying something different, hey, that's just what the game is. If you have valuable skills, you can be like, you know what? I don't want to do that and just go somewhere else. But the thing is, we are an employer market now to where going somewhere else, it might take you a little bit of time. So
mm.
it's you kind of feeling a little stuck there. That's my opinion. What are your thoughts on the remote part? Because I'm trying to be neutral and not go crazy on the CEO. So just trying to see it both ways.
I think because we often gravitate towards sports, and but here's how I see it. Imagine it's kind of like what's his name in Dallas? How they keep saying, why do we keep hearing from the owner, even though
Jerry Jones.
we're not winning? But
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's being Jerry Jones, but I view him almost as like the coach or the general manager as an owner. And think about like a company, they always say, oh, we're a family, we're a team dynamic. You don't want, imagine you're a player and you hear your coach going to interview saying, yeah, my linebackers was soft today. They was missing tackles and the cornerbacks was doing this and that. Yes, do that in the film room, do that behind
Mm,
closed doors. But I think that's where my issue lies with it. Why are you coming to the public talking trash about your own company? You're talking trash
mm,
about yourself too. You're with us. Like
yeah.
I just instantly got a vibe of him separating himself from the problem. And I think if I'm in the organization, I don't like that. Like, are you calling us the problem and you separating yourself and then bringing it back to the remote work? I think it's about the way you're framing that as well. All of this is optics. It's just about
Mm,
how you perceived, and that's why corporate America, part of it is you have to be able to, I don't want to call it finesse, but you just have to be intentional because we're not all just names and numbers on sheets. We're humans. You know what I'm saying? And that's what Amazon, that you see the workers protesting, because they're human. They feel like they're being disrespected. They feel like y'all not listening to us. And so when I say framing, I mean don't frame the return from reframe it as a return from remote work to something positive. Don't frame it as a punishment. Like, oh, clearly we're slacking. So nope, y'all got to get back in the office. Who wants to be punished? What grown
Yeah.
adult wants to be punished? And so
Right.
don't frame it like that. Frame it like, hey guys, y'all held down the boat while it was rocky, but we didn't know if we would ever get to come back in person.
Yeah.
But now we get to come back in person. Not you have to come back in person.
Mm. Going deep on us, going deep on us. Okay. All
I
right.
mean, it's easier said than done, but you get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. Nah, I'm with you, man. My biggest thing is I pride myself in being able to see both sides, being able to see it from the business perspective, but then also seeing it from the employee perspective, but just understanding where the power lies. Like,
yeah.
and if someone created the game, created the rules, that's the person that owns the situation. And if you decide you don't want to be a part of it, just don't be a part of it. Don't play. Like you're like, I don't want to play that game. I'm good on that.
yeah.
But yeah, no, that's cool. That's good. That's good dialogue, good discussion there. Let's transition over to I really want to go in this other direction. You know what? I'm gonna go in this other direction just because it's still on that train of jobs and all that. So let's go in that direction. Give me a second here. About to open that up. Copy
Yeah,
that.
it's like, you remember how coming up as a kid, they was like, nah, you don't ever tell family business outside the house. That's what it's like. That's what that felt like. I felt like he was telling family business. I didn't like that.
Mm,
Why
mm.
are you telling us what the internal problems are? Tell us what the goods are. You know how your parents would never tell, man, my baby got an A. You might have got 6 F, but my baby got 1 A in PE. But you know what I mean? Hey, I don't know.
And nah, that's real. That's real. That's real. That's real. All right, so okay, keeping it on the train of jobs, right? Keeping it on the hold on. It's coming. It's coming.
There have been a slew of layoffs recently.
All right, hold on. Here we go. Here we go. I'm about to cue it up, and I'm still learning YouTube, so I'm gonna play a little bit and pause a little bit just to make sure. All right, doing a screen share now. All right, application window. We gonna share it. We gonna play it, and we gonna talk about it. All right, let's rewind.
There have been a slew of layoffs.
So on the career track, you work in your job, everything good, you making it happen, and then you get that infamous invite out of nowhere, and it's from your manager. You get on that call, and you see HR on there, a person you ain't never met before. You know what's about to happen. They about to lay you about to lose your job. However, you have people recording it because
Oh
they
wow.
know
There have been a
because
slew
they
of
know
layoffs.
they're about to get laid off. Whether they got wind of it, they saw the writing on the wall, and so they're recording the call. Let's watch this TikTok because they're talking about it is insanely risky to post that, and people are recording it and posting it and talking about it. Let's get into it.
Recently, and as a result, more and more people are recording their layoffs and posting them on TikTok. I spoke with a few career experts recently, and while they understand the appeal of posting such videos, they still advise against it. Here are 3 reasons why. First, when you're getting laid off, you're probably in a highly emotional state. That's understandable. Getting laid off is a very painful experience.
Yes, you're being emotional, and that's okay. Getting laid off sucks. It hurts your pride, your ego, your career. If you've been pushing, heck, even if you hadn't been pushing, it's something that you've been working hard at, or maybe you hadn't been working hard. But any of it just doesn't feel good to have that taken away. Like one of your income streams being taken away, and you may feel blindsided. You're emotional, so be very careful on how you proceed. Let's keep going.
But because of that, career coach Phoebe Gavin says posting a video of your layoff won't always show the most professional side of you, and you risk future employers seeing that. Second, posting such a video can put your motivation into question. Even if your motivation isn't to stick it to your employer, it can come off looking like that. And Gavin says that for recruiters, it doesn't reflect highly on the person posting the video. Lastly,
Okay, let's talk about that. Think about this. let's take it away from that for a second. Imagine in a dating world, right? Let's just use that as an example. Let's say that you were in a relationship with someone and it wasn't going well. You know, that happens. That's part of life. And you start recording them, right? For whatever
Right.
reason, whatever your motive is. But then you go and date someone else and they saw that you recorded your ex and you posted it all over social media. How do you think that person would feel?
I'm clamming up around you, D'Angelo Russell. Nah, I ain't saying nothing around you.
Right,
Shoot, that's crazy.
exactly. I would be looking at you so sideways, like, you did what? And what? Why wouldn't you do that to me? Bringing it back to employment, it's kind of like dating. The new situation that you're coming into, they giving you the side eye. Like, anytime something go wrong, are you gonna do that to us? Are you gonna do that
Mm.
to and potentially record proprietary information? What you've essentially probably done is you probably blackballed yourself from some scenario situations that you don't even realize that you've done.
Posting a layoff video can make it harder to trust you, says former Google recruiter Nolan Church. And career coach Angelina Darissa agrees. She says it makes employers think, when else might this employee be recording our conversations?
Exactly. Exactly. So let's stop sharing. Let's talk about it. Let's hear from the Ivy League scholars just getting into corporate America. Some of your people, man. Some of your people, man, they hold on, let me I don't know what I don't know. I don't like that. You know, once you get on do TikTok, it start taking you down all I start doing that.
Yeah.
Just get into TikTok. Well, I don't want to just like put it on all Gen Zs because it's folks across the spectrum that's doing it. When you hear that from your perspective, just entering the workforce, like what does your mind go? What do you go? What are you thinking about?
I think it makes me think about something that people always joke around and say, did you like they'll bring up digital footprint? Like, oh, like someone will
Mm.
post something crazy and they'll be like, hey, did you know that there's a digital footprint? Like they'll be joking, but like I'm taking a step further. Like people don't realize that you just got a footprint, period. Now, digital, paper, like whatever you do, there's just always a footprint of people. People take notice. And what really made me realize that or start taking notice of that more is that, as I want to delve into my company and what I do, but let's just say that I work at a company where they call people and they interact with the public and they take note of that and then take note of conversations. And so I can look back and see conversations and notes from like 2007, and it'll say something like, "This guy was an a-hole. He cussed me out. He was doing this, and that." And I'm like, I can't imagine myself seeing or someone reading my name, or what I'm saying. Like that's just funny. You wouldn't think you would forget that conversation, but databases and systems don't. And so to go
Mm.
on to more of this conversation of a digital footprint, we're entering into an age where I mean, I remember I didn't get my first phone until maybe 12, 13, 14, my first smartphone. Some kids is being born with one. They're being, as soon as you can sing your ABCs, you get one. And I can't imagine being able to post something that could forever be permanent because now you mess around, you could be 8 years old and go viral. Think about that. Imagine your 8-year-old niece or something going viral. Like, no one was paying attention to her. She did a TikTok dance or did posted a funny video, or your nephew or your little cousin. And so man, it's just like I said, in the heat of the moment, I can see how you get upset, but you got to really be careful. And even myself, as I get more into content creation, I have to really be conscious of who all can see this: family, friends, employers, future employers. Like you don't know what could happen. Like, and I think the dating analogy is a good example. Like you can hide these things on the surface, and especially like as you getting employed, you can hide these things in the first stages of the interview, but things is always gonna pop up. And so my advice is just that digitally and online, don't do things that you gotta hide and cover up digitally. Like don't just even associate your name with. If you live right digitally, you ain't got to worry about things being found and attached to you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why no, that's real. That's real talk there. That's why we had a money show and we react to things but we want to make sure it's practical and it's going to help people as well, right? And we talking about these things to help people avoid some of these pitfalls and you can learn from other people's mistakes as well. And you just want to be very careful to stay professional at all times, even if you're on that end. Sometimes it's due to performance and sometimes it just was a business decision. You're just not a part of the plan no more and maybe the company is going through some struggles or and they need to cut. When you have companies that report earnings, especially companies that are on the stock market, when one of the quickest ways to boost profits, they cut costs, and usually they cutting labor costs. And that's just what it is. That's a part of the game. And if you stay in corporate long enough, you may run into it, and or maybe you might be blessed where you never see it. But let's just be realistic. So with that, that's why it's really important to keep your money on your mind, operate as KB Inc., Keon Barney Inc., and treat yourself like a business. And your company is is the client that you've elected to provide your valuable services to them in this present time, and they happen to be one client. And if the client decides, hey, we're going in a different direction, they're going in a different direction. So my recommendation is treat your life, your family as a business, make business moves, make sure you are running your household budget, making sure you're building that emergency fund. We're gonna beat it over the head. Emergency fund, making sure you're investing in that 401k. This is not investment advice. I'm just talking about what we would do. Like just investing, just keep complete ownership of your life. The company is not the boogeyman. They're not. It's a company, and you need to treat yourself the same way. Any last words on that?
I think you put the nail in it right there. I think you're right, man. Just be about your business and just be a professional. And it's funny. I have these talks with my manager. He tells me, man, sometimes people just aren't professional. They don't have the same mindset that you and I do. Because I take pride in that. It's kind of like, I mean, I want to keep talking about sports, but it's like a trust. Hey, we're all here. Of course, we'd all rather be home. No, it's a work. There's a reason we're getting paid to be here. So if you're on the clock, you're on the clock. If not, then don't be. But if you're on the clock, then that means something.
Facts. Okay, so let's pivot away from corporate America. Let's go back to the finance. Let's get to some more finance conversation. But this is gonna be a good one, and this one may benefit you who's listening. And I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it, but I do have an opposing opinion, or it's not opposing, but I do have some commentary that I'd like to add on the back end of it. Let's cue it up. Let's cue it up. Let's cue it up. So Biden forgives 4.2 4.28 billion in student debt for almost 55,000 people, right? Borrowers. This is hot off the press. The Biden administration announced Friday that it would forgive another 4.28 billion in student loans. Talked about that, who work in public service. The relief is a result of fixes the U.S. Department of Education made to the once troubled public service loan forgiveness program. The debt relief comes in President Biden's final weeks in office. Biden has forgiven more student debt than any other president. Cool. He has cleared nearly 180 billion for 4.9 million people with student debt. Still, Republican-led legal challenges have stalemate, I think that's all of Biden's attempts at delivering wide-scale relief, which he knew that anyway. So, like, let's not go down that rabbit hole. All right, cool. All right, so we'll leave it there. What are your thoughts? What are your initial reactions? I have mine. I'll hold mine to the back end. What you thinking?
And it's
And also, before you go, just so you know, just so you understand the dynamic between us, I had a whole lot of student loan debt. Big bro took the path first grad, all the things. So I'm not what my opinion is not gonna come from someone that didn't have debt. But then when bro came by, and I'm first generation grad, made all the mistakes. But then I put bro on game, and bro went to school full ride. So you're getting a well-rounded perspective, but two different experiences. All right, go ahead.
I just like on the one hand, there's like I get both sides of people saying don't forgive it or do forgive it. Like it's just my question is if we forgive it, then what? You know what I'm saying? Like then what? I feel like we gotta forgive it with a plan. And like I don't know. A little sidebar. I'm just curious. Like, are the presidents able to just do these things like in their last couple of weeks? Like, it's my last week or two. I'm gonna just forgive $4 billion. I'm gonna just make a $4 billion decision. Like that's interesting. But I don't know. You think about, of course, there's the opinion of, okay, well, you took the loan on. Why do you want it forgiven? That's not how things work. But at the same time, a lot of these people took these loans at a time when you couldn't get a car loan, you couldn't get a house loan, you couldn't get this type of loan. So why could you get this type of loan? Why would you give a 17, 18-year-old that type of money? Because it's backed by something bigger than them. And so I don't know. I really don't know what to even say. I do my best to stay out of that system. And whenever I give advice, whenever I'm asked for advice, I put it like that, because you can give everybody advice. Whenever I'm asked, I say stay as far away from that system as possible and borrow as little as possible, because it's a scam. I'm trying not to say it, but it's a scam. I think all that it's a scam. People are getting ripped off.
Yeah. So for me, who paid off all of the student loan debt, my wife and I, we paid off all of our student loan debt, mine and hers. I wouldn't have it any other way for me, because who I became in that process, it forced me to be more. It forced me to do more. It really helped me understand the missteps I made, but it also helped me develop financial literacy and building the muscle of just paying off debt. So yes, to your point of, okay, poof, paid off. You're done, you're free, but you still have you. So now it's not student loan debt. Now it's an $80,000 car loan, a $100,000 car loan,
Oh,
$20,000 in credit card debt. Like it just shifts into a whole another vehicle that has you in shackles. So have you really learned the lesson on that bad decision that you made? First, we have to, my biggest thing is accountability. First, accountability first. People push against that, but you're talking somebody that had over $100,000 in student loan debt and paid it off. So I feel like, no, 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 we're not going to talk in feelings. I earned the right to say that. Of, did you learn the lesson? Did you get better? Did you improve? Because just going away, okay, are you better? So
mm.
that's what I'd like to call out there. Because otherwise, you're just gonna shift it to another situation, and you're just gonna be in the same scenario. Two is, that's taxpayer money. That's not free money. That's people that work, get taxed. You made a bad decision. You made a bad decision, and then it gets bailed out.
I see what you mean.
Now, to be fair, you have companies that make bad decisions and they get bailed out too. So I know that conversation happens too. Like, I know that that's a competing conversation, and I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that part too. So I'll let you chime in and give your perspective.
I think that's a really good point. I think that's just a point that I miss that a lot when it comes to conversations about the government. Kind of how we were talking about earlier, when it's like the president trying to separate itself from the company. Like, aren't you us? Kind of a similar thing, like the government, public money, taxpayer money. That's us that we're talking about. That's me. That's you. Anyone who has a W-2 job, whenever they say taxpayer, you should feel a sting. That's what that makes me think of. Like, 'cause it gets not personalized anymore. You don't think of taxpayer money. You don't think of, oh, that's that 500 that got took out of my check. Oh, okay. I didn't think of it that way. No, no, don't forgive it. Give it back. So then we don't think of it that way. We think about it like, oh, well, yeah, forgive it all. That don't got nothing to do with me, but it does in a way. You just, even if it's not the direct example of taxpayers, okay, boom, forgive the debt. Now what's the plan? Where is that money gonna go? Is Michael Kors about to run up a bag? Is Jordan about to run up a, like, what do you mean? What are we gonna do with this money now? I said that's what everyone's gonna do, but you get my point. And so I just think that this conversation, it can fall. I just caution anybody having the conversation to just be careful of pocket watching. I always warn of
Mm,
there's a difference between doing research and studying success and then pocket watching. This is
mm,
don't get into the don't get into the hurt feeling of, man, they got their, because they get their debt clear, they're gonna do better than me in life. Like, don't fall into that trap of thinking that something good happens for somebody else. Now I lose something because of that. Don't fall into that. If someone else's debt gets cleared, great. If not, great. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Just keep going, keep running your race. If it affects you, if you lose some debt, hallelujah. If not, like you said, you still have to build some accountability. Like, this was a home run anyway. This was a home run chance anyway.
yeah, yeah. You know, we bring ourselves everywhere we go, and so if it's a clean slate for you, make the best of it. That's my biggest thing. I'm happy for you. Kudos. But the people that I know that's typically wanting that, let's just say it. Let's just say it. Number three. Number three. You picked a horrible degree that does not make. You did not count the ROI on the degree that you chose, right? So you got all this debt, and now you have, and the career path that you're going down, you're not even going to be able to make enough money to like just clear it, just be done and clear it. Because that's one thing to pick up the debt, but it's going the career. You can see the career trajectory of like, okay, I'm gonna make six figures. I'm gonna be between 100, 150, and maybe even up if I want to keep going. But you pick the career path, and if you just do a little bit of research on what is the ROI for that particular career path, and you see like, well, damn, the upside of that is like 60 or 50.
Yeah.
10 years from now, 15 years from now, like, I don't think I'm gonna do that one. But if you look at another one and you're like, okay, no, that one, whew, man, people at the top, man, people that's like that 10 years from now, oh, they making 200 plus. That hit different. Now, will you get there? It depends on your drive, it depends on your ambition, but at least it's showing you a path of, okay, I can make good money in this scenario. So it's that balance of you just randomly picking something because that's your passion, or you just didn't know what was going on and you just picked something without doing the research. But in it, or because these are business decisions. Remember, Kian Barney Inc., KB Inc. And when you approaching that, when you ask most people why you going to school to make money. So if you're going to school to make money, you need to understand what companies find valuable and they're willing to pay for that value going down that career path. That's a totally different way. Like, so treating it like a business perspective, like versus your feelings. It doesn't mean that you have to pick something that you don't want to do, but there's many career paths that you can make six figures and you can be in that 15%. Will everybody make six figures? The numbers don't say that. But we don't have to be compared against the numbers. How about you be the one that do make it and not be compare yourself to being average? You don't have to like average is all around us. You don't have to be one of them. And so you have well, everybody can't make six figures, but how about you know what? I 100% agree. But I'm gonna be the one that does. So that lands different. That's a different mentality. Because that's usually the pushback people will give and like, well, everybody, no, you're not making good money because you didn't make good decisions. That might be too tough. That might be too real. Let me go back. Let me go back. Because it does hurt emotionally when you realize, oh shit, I made a bad decision.
I was lied to.
I was lied to. So I don't want to discount that. But at some point, you got to stop the bleeding. At some point, you got to say, you know what, I went down the wrong path. Let me see if I can start the process of making some shifts to go down a path that will yield me better results. And it's
Mm.
just gonna take time. I'll let you close out on that. What are your thoughts? Because at the end of the day, I'm on a rant now. The government is not going to save us. That's not their
Yeah.
job. Only with the strength of God, if that's you believe in God, we believe in God, but in you having faith, and also understand faith without works is dead, and you doing the freaking work. we have to do the work. And I'm not like, I'm talking to myself, but like we have to do the freaking work to get the results we say we wanted. Sometimes we fall short, sometimes we crush it, but we, no matter what, we keep moving forward. And what was the first thing I said? Accountability, ownership. That's what it's about. All right, I'm done ranting. Go for
Let me
it.
pick the mic up that you just dropped. Now let me I'm my mind goes to what can be done about this? Like so what? So like I'm trying to fast forward to like, because all of this makes so much sense to me now, but it don't matter to me now. I didn't already went through. And some of our viewers are like, we 20 some years old, we didn't graduate. But I'm pretty positive we all know somebody who's about to go to college, who's thinking of these decisions. If the viewers themselves aren't, some ain't young enough to be in high school about to make these decisions. I'm just trying to think, what would a high schooler, because there's so much information, it can almost be, they got the opposite problem now, it's information overload. So how can I as a high schooler say, okay, I hear what y'all are saying, I'm tuned into the KB Money Show at 16, 17, I'm trying to be a billionaire by 30. So y'all saying that every major isn't good? Like y'all saying every major isn't the same? I didn't know that. Like I'm trying, like I didn't know these things at 16, 17. I had a broad idea, but I think that the problem is, it's about being a good investor, a long-term investor, because a trap that a lot of us, including myself into this, a trap that a lot of us fall into is that, like, we look at it as an investment, and kind of like what you were saying, why are you putting all this money? It's because it's a long-term investment. College itself isn't the investment, but they make it feel like it. They give you the college experience, NSO, new student orientation. It's an investment. You're gonna grow. You're gonna get all this. But like you just said, it's competing. No, that's not the end goal. I didn't spend all that money just for the 4 years. The real investment is afterwards. And so the sooner, or however you can get to all the listeners out there, if you got a little person, or if you yourself thinking about college, don't focus on the 4 years. That's going to fly by so fast. And you're going to be 23, you're going to be 30, 38, 39, 40. You're going to be like, oh, okay, that 4 years was cool, but I got 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 after that to account for. That wasn't the investment, or that wasn't the point of the investment. Like, that's not why I took out the 200, 300K of debt. I'm saying, like, for the viewers, you're not taking it out for that. You're taking it out with the goal of paying it off within 1, 2, 3 years right after graduating. So if you're not taking it with that mentality, walk away from the loan. I think it's predatory to allow 16, 17, 18-year-old to take that type of loan for an art degree. But the government doesn't run on what I think and what I feel. If they allow it to happen, it's like what they say, ignorance of the law is not an excuse. Ignorance of the game is not an excuse. They're gonna let you walk in there and walk out smiling with that loan for an art degree. And I'm also thinking about people that you can shift majors during school, but there's some people that can't, their parents. That's a whole nother situation. But don't be scared to shift majors. If you freshman, sophomore year, you went in for something and you're thinking like, oh, okay, everybody I talk to, they seem sad, overworked, underpaid. Please hop majors. Go find a major that's get paid, and don't base off feelings, like Kenny's saying. Do the research. We got Chat GPT. That's just a starting point. Go find somebody, talk to them. Do you mind showing me a pay stub? Get personal. Like, hey, I really want to. I need to know what my future
remember,
looks like.
I showed you pay stubs. I showed you offer letters. I'm like, bro, look, like, I'm not saying this is the most, because I'm learning. I'm on a journey myself. Like, damn, you can make that. Like, man, I wasn't even thinking big enough, but I wanted you to at least see 6 figures on a offer letter or a check stub where you're like, oh, okay, it's possible. Like, I can touch somebody that's doing it, because sometimes that's where it starts. And a lot of these folks are faking in front on the internet like they making money. Everybody's 6-figure baller, but when you're looking at the stats don't reflect that. The total household income, between 60, 70,000 total household income, meaning multiple people, not just one. And so and that's the majority of people in America. And so you realize, you start doing a comparison thing, and you start realizing like what people are talking about is not real. But you don't know who's real, who's not, because you in this social media world, you looking at everybody riding good, which some people, they do ride good. Like, hey, don't get it twisted. Like, they doing their thing. But a lot of times this stuff is a facade. And so that's why at the beginning and during the monologue, we were saying, run your race. If you have that emergency fund that you're trying to set that emergency fund up. Don't have somebody talking about, oh, emergency funds is for suckers. Oh, this and that. You lame. You ain't thinking big enough. Man, screw all that, because things aren't what they seem. But again, sometimes they are. But it's a small percentage of it really is what it is, But a lot of this stuff around here is BS. And what happens is you make good decisions, in year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it starts to compound, and your life is just getting, as long as you have your health, your life is getting better and better and better and better. And it's just taking time, baby. It's gonna take time. It's gonna take time. Like good behavior pattern. Think about Warren Buffett, man. He was investing in his teens,
12, something like that. Shoot,
teens up until now, and then it,
brother,
it turns
crazy.
into a whole nother thing. But compound on good behavior patterns, and your life will continue to get better. So that's all we looking to talk about, on this segment. But man, don't believe the hype, but make sure you pick the
Mhm.
right degrees if you go down that path. Or alternative, don't get a degree at all. How about you get a trade? There's six-figure trades out there eventually that where those are still in high demand. Whether it's a trade, whether it's you get a cert, and then you can get right into the workforce strategically. I'm not saying it's the easiest because you are going against people that do have a degree and still going in that place. For example, like a cybersecurity. Like you can go down, like that's just an example. Sales, you can get into sales without a degree. So if you look in the description below, you can go to Level Careers, you can go to Course Careers. They can give you some insight. Or heck, you can just do a Google search. Whatever you need to do to figure out what are six-figure roles that I can get into without a degree. So that's an option too. Trades and non-degree high-paying roles as well.
That's it, man. Patience. That's the ultimate ingredient. That's the ingredient I've been searching for. I need that ingredient the most.
I didn't have it in my 20s, so I got gray hairs now. So I guess I'm somebody's uncle, right? So I guess I don't know. So so just take it from KB. Don't make some mistakes I made. I'm on the other end of it because sometimes people telling you don't do this, don't do that, and they ain't on the other end of it. So I don't think you should really be listening to them. So that's that part too, right? So all right, so I think we beat that up right there. So let's move on to the next segment. Speaking of everything isn't what you think it is. It's a nice segue, right?
It
All
is.
right. Things aren't what you think they are.
Mm,
I don't know about y'all. I like movies. I love going to the movies. I love movies. When people ask me what I want for Christmas, when we doing the Secret Santa, I'm like, give me a gift card. Give me a gift card to Cinemark, wherever else. Like, I love going to the movies. Love going to movie. We grew up in a movie house. Like, we love movies. That's just what
we
it
do.
is. That is definitely one thing that the fam rubbed off on us for sure. And I just love movies. But I'm gonna tell you this: things aren't what they seem. So Jim Carrey is starring in a new Sonic movie,
Oh,
right?
wow.
He was being interviewed by AP News. Guess what he said? This is Business Insider. The reason he came out, Jim Carrey said he came out of retirement because he needs money. He's the latest A-lister to open up about taking roles to boost their finances.
He was the mask, wasn't he?
All the things
He was
I
getting
saw
money in the
cable
90s.
guy. He was getting that bread. He was making money.
Ooh.
So Jim Carrey told the Associated Press he came out of acting retirement because he needed money. I said that, but he said something specific, and I want to hear you. I want to see if I can find this wording he used. There you go. We don't need to read all this stuff above. I came back to the universe because, first of all, I get to play a genius, which is a bit of a stretch. He just probably throwing a joke out there because he is a comedian too, right? And I just quote, I bought a lot of stuff and I need the money, frankly.
Mm,
Dang.
that's honest. It's very
That's real
honest.
talk. That's real talk. And we talk about being authentic, being real. It don't get more real than that. I bought a lot of stuff. I bought a lot of stuff.
Mm, wow.
You want to know one of those things that he bought? And I'll let you chime in here.
What's that?
He owns a $29 million mansion
Mm. Oh,
that he put up for sale in 2023. So imagine buying something for almost $30 million, but and then you want to sell it He probably paid
Them
more.
taxes eating him up. Ooh,
No,
them
wait,
taxes
wait,
killing
wait. No, wait. I don't think he paid. I don't think he paid 29 million. But that's what he's trying. No, it's the demand. But he listed it for 29
him.
million
Okay.
2 years ago in 2023, in February 2023. Nearly 2 years on the market. I mean, he couldn't sell that thing. He couldn't sell it. He cut the price to 19 million, base almost 20 million. And that's just one purchase. That's just one purchase of many things. But him himself, he said, I bought a lot of things. So a lot of times we think just on our level, man, if I just make more money, man, if I just make more money. If you make more money and you don't have solid money management skills, and when people say financial literacy, I want to be more practical, like money management skills, you having that emergency fund, and you just have your basic fundamental money management. So meaning when your money scale up or scale down, you run it through this systematic framework on how you operate with your money, budgeting, all the things. But the money coming in is going out, because what's going to happen is your lifestyle is going to increase. And guess what? None of us is immune to it. So he was making millions of dollars, but maybe yours is thousands of dollars and maybe millions too. If you're blessed in that way, you put in the work, whatever, you talent, whatever, you're going to end up in the same boat. How do I know? A lot of people that make six figures are check to check. A lot of times, six figures, the goal for folks, is the goal of mine when I was out in my 20s. But their stats, I read stats and reports. A lot of people that make six figures, who make it to the top 15%, live check to check. This is just a magnified multi-million-dollar check to check. It's the same thing. I'll open up to you to let you spin your perspective. If you wonder why I'm always like, bro, do this, bro, I'm trying to tell you, bro, emergency fund, bro, your budget, bro. Because once you start making more and more and more money and you have that down, bro, you're gonna be a multimillionaire. It's just gonna take you some time. Like we talked about last segment. It's just gonna take you some time. Play the long game.
Man, I had heard a similar story recently about Al Pacino. But his was more, I don't know if we talked about that, but his was more of a scenario where an accountant took advantage of him, but still accountability. You should have been watching. But man, I just think that we as common folk, we see celebrities and we just assume that they know how to do everything. He know how to act, be funny, make money. He must know how to keep the money too. Or if he doesn't know, he must have a team that knows. Nah, that's not the assumption to make. They just happen to be better at making money. They just happen to be great at making money. But it's like offense and defense. His offense was amazing. He scored 100. Too bad he got scored on 110 points. Like he still lost the game though. So that's how you look at it. Like it's not about, okay, coach, I put up 50. Yeah, but your man put up 55. Son, I might sub you out. It was an amazing 50 to watch, but
yeah.
like, you know what I mean? So like, yeah, sorry, son, sit down. I'm gonna put the guy that can score 10, but his man scored 2. So when he was guarding him. So that's kind of how you look at it, And like it's just kind of like you said, it's just about embracing the fundamentals, because specifically the word check to check. I want to focus on that word. We give that word such a bad, I won't say bad, but it's got such a bad connotation. But when we think about it, I'd say it's probably the vast minority that don't live check to check. Because as your checks get bigger, I feel like that's just how humans just think. I got a sum of money. Let me live off of this until the next sum. We don't think ahead. This goes to that same student loan problem I was talking about earlier. We're not long-term thinkers. We're not long-term investors. We're not long-term financial planners. That's what living check to check means. And we associate that with poverty, like, oh, it's a $500 check, $200 check. No, you can be check to check with $1 million check. Go get $1 million check. Don't work again until you spend $1 million. Now I need another check. That's check to check. That's what he just described. He's one of the 100,000 that you read in the stats, basically.
Facts. And you mentioned Al Pacino further in that Business Insider article. If I would have kept it screen shared, he also Al Pacino is mentioned in there as well. In 2011, Al Pacino wrote that he went broke again because of overspending. He wrote that in one of his memoirs. there's almost nothing worse for a famous person. There's being dead, and then there's being woo,
Mm.
man. That landed, that hit. Woo. Because can you imagine making millions of dollars, ex experiencing all this stuff, and then you just dead broke. And so what felt like a blessing was really a curse. Man, woo. And then them tax bills get to coming in crazy. Like some people, on a smaller scale, you I'm tripping because I had to pay 30 grand or 20 grand or whatever. Man, they be having to play hundreds. I've seen with $1 million tax, but I'm like, oh
Ooh,
God, woo.
yeah.
But it's like it doesn't matter what income bracket, what tax bracket you are. If you have terrible money management and you overspend, that's going to be the result. It's not just make more money.
No, at the end of the day, it's a money game. We've talked about a lot of games. It's a lot. It's a money game, and the same thing. You just gotta know the rules. Gotta know how to score. Gotta know how to defend. Gotta know the rules so you don't get flagged. There's a lot of people get flagged, like you just mentioned, like the IRS. That's the meanest referee there is. You thought Tim Donna, whatever they name me, you thought they was strict. I be reading random stories like they got arrested and had to do time. Like you'd be random celebrities like a chef, a skydiver. They don't play with nobody. An actor. They don't care how famous you are. Play with them, and they'll let you run up the bill a couple years too. It's crazy. Oh, that's one battle I don't want. I don't want no smoke with any letters. FBI, police, GPD, BPD in Boston, IRS. I surrender. I'm just gonna pay my taxes full as much as I can. I'll leave a tip if I can.
Right. Yeah. So I have one more. I have a bonus one that I'm gonna do. Cause man, this one is interesting. I ain't gonna lie to you. This one is interesting. And I'm gonna say allegedly, but it's public record. So I don't so there's some merit to it. There's some merit to it. So I'll do some of the reading. I was trying to see if I could find the video part of it because I was gonna make some folks laugh, but let me see if I can find it real quick. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Give me a second. 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 Give me a second.
Yeah, man. Who else do you know? I'm thinking Wesley. Got who else? It was another story I read recently. Somebody, but yeah, they don't play.
All right, so I think yeah, all right. So I'm going to I'm gonna give it a go. Hold on a second. I'm gonna give it a go. Hold on, hold on. All right, I had to mute it because I need to get the paid version. We'll cut that out. All right, I'm about to cue it up, change the speed, and I'm gonna get us up out of here. But yeah, man, it's kind of funny. All right, so this is a NBC. This is NBC. Cue it up, make sure. All right, NBC. All right, sharing my screen now. There's some reports out there that celebrities out here balling with the PPP loan.
Oh man.
Like Lil Wayne, DJ Marshmello, and Chris Brown facing scrutiny for spending millions in COVID relief money on themselves, according to an in-depth report by Business Insider, which reviewed accounting documents and filings with the Small Business Administration, which administered the loans. NBC.
Let's rewind that. Let's rewind that real quick because they said let's go back real quick.
Dang.
And I don't like that fast of a playback. Let's dial it back a little bit.
They didn't got busted.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
For spending millions in
let's remix it. Let's bring it back. Let's bring it back.
entertainment, like Lil Wayne, DJ Marshmello, and Chris Brown facing scrutiny
Hey,
for spending millions in
hello.
COVID relief money on themselves, according to an in-depth report by Business Insider, which reviewed accounting documents and filings with the Small Business Administration, which administered the loans. NBC News has not seen the documents, but the reporting says the celebs were awarded money from the Shuttered Venue Operators Grant.
It was, talked about as something that would help, the local institution concert venue, the middle class.
Bro, I gotta keep pausing it because I'm still learning YouTube. Hopefully they don't flag us. But
Right.
bro, they balling out on taxpayer money.
Mm.
Let's continue.
Stagehand, the small time performing artist who's just getting their start.
But in the case of A-list star Lil Wayne, Business Insider reviewed documents showing the rapper received
Wheezy,
$8.9 million in relief funds, $1.3 million on private jets, another
Must be
$450,000
nice.
going to clothes, including Balenciaga and Gucci. After canceling a
Wow.
New Year's Eve show in 2021 due to weather conditions, Business Insider says the rapper apparently partied at a nightclub, but still billed taxpayers nearly $88,000 for the concert that never happened. Chris Brown and his companies
Sheesh.
receiving $10 million, according to the article, including thousands for his birthday party's LED dance floor, hookah and bottle service, nitrogen ice cream, and
Even some bird.
Man, hey, bro. It must be nice. You just throw a birthday party, PPP loan, tax dollars. Wow. Okay, let's keep going.
holes in the rental couches. Certainly not what I think.
Wait, go back. What did they have? What did he say they had?
What'd you say?
What did he say they have? He said they had another crazy item. He was saying.
Certainly not what I think the members of Congress had in mind when they approved this money.
the Business Insider
They just
reporting
gonna
going
spend
on
it
to
on
say
whatever.
almost $10 million grant to superstar DJ Marshmello's company went straight into his pocket. The musicians whose tour revenues declined steeply during the pandemic were likely eligible for the grants, which were awarded based solely on revenue, according to the SBA.
It would not be surprising if this was entirely legal, and it still seems to violate the spirit of what these programs are really targeted at.
DJ Marshmello, Lil Wayne, and Chris Brown did not immediately respond to NBC News' request for comment and did not provide comments to Business Insider. This wasn't the only pandemic-era relief program facing scrutiny.
Anyway, I thought that was interesting. I'm gonna exit out of this and we're gonna talk about it. The PPP loan. Do you even remember that era, or were you like in school, heads down,
I remember that era.
not really thinking about it? I remember one of my close friends. They are business owners and they had employees, and they took the PPP and they legitly took it. And I'm not saying that they didn't, because all this is allegedly, right? So we just gonna say allegedly. However, with the PPP loan, because it's tax funds, it's public record. So that's where it gets a little tricky. But when you hear that, what are your initial thoughts?
It's just funny. It was especially funny to me because, like you said, I was in school right during the bulk of it, but then in my very first job out of undergrad, I worked in payroll, so I kind of got to understand what this stuff meant. Because a lot of times I would be working with business owners. I work with small business owners, and they'd be like, "Keon, what do I need? First of all, what is payroll? What do I need it for? Why do I need to document my payroll with you guys? Like, what is the purpose of that?" And so I come to learn, for instance, like PPP, so that when it comes time to prove that you're a real business and hey, I do want these loans, you have a paper trail showing like, no, I actually do have 40 employees I've been paying for the past 5 years. I'm not just making this up. Versus there were some people that were getting these loans, like you said, and they don't got a paper trail, they don't got a digital footprint, they don't got nothing to prove that they're a legit business. And so they just were taking advantage of the funds. Now this is a thin line, because I kind of heard one take on this where they said that, hey, part of their job is to look rich and we feed into it. So can we not say that they're not just on the clock? You know what I'm saying? I can hate on it, but would I say I wouldn't do the same thing? Hey, Mr. Wayne or Mr. Barney, you can use your money to go pay for this private jet, or illegally, you can go use PPP. You got it right there. What do you think I'm gonna use? Now, I'm not saying that it's immoral. I'm not saying I actually would do that, but I'm saying it's all a money game. And it's not, I can't get mad if they got a team that knows the rules to say, hey, Mr. Carter, or Dwayne, you got this to your advantage that you can use. Trump probably does the same things. We talk about like those type of things. Like, it's all about, we praise Belichick. Oh, Belichick knows the rules. Chris Paul knows the rules. His shirt untucked. He told the refs. And then, hey, it seems like someone told the ref that they shirt was untucked, because it seems like they almost had the perfect finesse, but they paperwork was a little sloppy. He documented concerts that never even happened. If you don't finesse, you're not finesse right. So now it's sounding like they about to get their hand slapped. I'm kind of curious how this is gonna play out.
Yeah, Yeah, no, I love that take and perspective. So, we just having a little fun with this one. We're not saying that they did anything wrong, but but bringing it back to the audience, before I give my takeaway and we'll close. One is one of the things I'm learning, bro, and maybe I'm just not, I'm learning, man. Man, you can get rich with government contracts, bro. Government contracts,
Absolutely.
they just be giving money away. And so what I'm seeing getting ready to happen is a transition with Trump and all of them coming in and Elon. They're saying like we about to do an audit because there's so much way. People that I know that's in government, they like, man, they just be wasting money. And so now, but people getting paid like, million, thousands of dollars, millions of dollars on these government contracts. And some of this
Yeah.
stuff is like, man, they just spending to be spending. Some of it is
Yeah.
valid, some of it is a little questionable. But
Yeah.
but anybody that I talk to, they always say, man, they just be wasting money. But so now folks are trying to address it, and now folks scrambling. It sounds like because it about to mess the money up.
Yeah, and I don't want to talk on administrations, but I've also heard, I've heard that like, because I've come to learn staffing more and working with the government. I've come to learn that it's not at will employment. Like I can get fired tomorrow. They have to go through a lot of processes before they let go of a government employee. That's what I'm learning. So they can know that they want to fire you, but they can't do it yet. So you can just be sitting there like, okay, y'all want to get rid of me, but y'all can't do it yet. Y'all gotta wait however amount or do the process. But until then, I'm here. What's up? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I know people, and we've had family that work in the government, and they've shared this. I have yet to find somebody that worked in the government that said, "Oh yeah, they over there finessing." Like, and they like it's so hard to get out of to have them get out of the government. So some people figure out the loophole in the strategy, and they just sit down, master the
Yeah.
strategy. Like they know the rules, all the nuances, and they know exactly how to do enough to keep the job, but then do like and just coast, but not, I don't want to say this everybody in the government, but like some people they get to it, make it happen. But I had a little bit, I've had some run-ins. I just like I couldn't do it. I'm like the mindset, I just couldn't do it. Like I couldn't do it. I like I can't do it.
You sitting on a ticking time bomb and feel like,
No, it just fit like just knowing, just seeing a person and being connected with people that's I saw it with my own eyes and just like I like to be in high performance spaces. I like even if there's areas that I need to improve upon, I'm like, oh man, dang, I need to get my weight up. Like, or maybe I
right.
might be that person that somebody's looking, but like create a lot of creativity happens in high performance environments and like you just moving, pushing the edge, trying new things, just like pushing, go, go, go. And the government, no go. It's slow. Like it's slow. It'd be a lot of bloat, a lot of waste. I just couldn't get with that world. But now I'm reconsidering. I'm like, man, Trump, them,
Let me
man,
go
they
get my clearance real quick.
right. I'm like, they better stop tripping, man. I'm wondering if
Right.
I can lock down a contract or two and deliver
Something
on
like
it
that.
and, make a couple million off a government contract, just figure out what their needs are and bid on something. Hey, I ain't, our thing is don't complain about it. Like the game is the game. Just learn the rules to the game and you get in the game. That's why if you notice, and it kind of pisses me off, and now we transitioned away from, Chris Brown them getting that PPP loan, but these lifetime politicians, they be having salaries 150, 200, 253, whatever, but then they be multi-millionaires. I'm like, yo, like, what is going on? Like, and that's on any of the sides, any administration. You like, you come in broke, you leave out. If you ever leave out,
Mhm.
you getting that bread. You got the connections. I'm like, man, I think we playing the wrong game. Like, I think, like, do I need to get polished up, get some PR, get a PR team, get someone to help groom me and check out my digital blueprint to make sure I need to start moving a certain way to get
But
some of that bread. You know what I'm saying? Like, man,
it,
sheesh.
it it just makes me think. I remember this is probably around the same time as the PvP time. I remember, I think this was like right after Trump lost. It would have been so easy. Everybody was kind of dogpiling on him, like, yeah, we got to get Trump out of here. Yeah, we're done with that. No more of that. And then the whole, the insurrection. We're not gonna get into all that. All that was going on. So, and then the Mar-a-Lago. It was a time when it was like, yo, let's dogpile on Trump. Yo, let me get some stumps in too. So, but my point is, it was some people that said, he only did one term though. he could come back. You know what I'm saying? So like, wow, it would have been so easy to be like, you know what? Nah, switch my red to blue, like the jersey. Take this jersey off. I'm on the blue team now. They say, you know what? I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. And if he ever get back in office, he might. I don't know if things don't go well, and we see how things played out. Now you're starting to hear nominations of who is that in their office? They did. You said they've never done anything political before, and now they are in charge of this. Oh, how did that happen? Strategy, being smart, being not being smart, being strategical. I'll put it like that.
Yeah.
Being in the right place at the right time.
Right. So for us, we like to tie back to the money, to the everyday person, have a little fun, be entertaining, have a, just joke. But at the end of the day, I just believe that a lot of these news articles, breaking news, it's just distractions. While over here, to the left or to the right, folks getting that bread. People getting bread, you getting distracted, other people getting paid and bro. And so our biggest thing is like keep the main thing, stay focused on what you have going on, figure out like how can I carve my way into some of these situations? Is it people that I need to connect with? Is it people that I need to start to rub elbows with? And that's in with your career, that's with your finances, that's if you're in a relationship and you see someone having an amazing relationship. Hey, learn what they doing with their health. You see somebody doing what they want to doing well in their health. Hey, get the game, learn the game, implement the game, get some guidance. Don't go down this path by yourself. But at any event, you got to level up, and a part of leveling up is getting to the money.
Yep. That's it.
But until the next episode, thank y'all for tuning in. If y'all enjoyed this, make sure you subscribe, comment, let us know what y'all think, provide feedback. We open to it. We just having a good time, making sure we providing great value to y'all. But until the next video, we'll catch y'all later. Peace.
Peace.